All right. We are here, and we are Galexis. We are a group of beings who speak as one through the channel Ginger Metro, and we welcome you to this edition of our blog, our video blog. At this time, we are coming close to the winter solstice, and when you come to the winter solstice, the spring equinox, the summer solstice, the fall equinox, those pivotal 4 times of the year, it can be very useful to reevaluate, to think, to reflect, to catch up, in a sense, with yourself, to catch up and integrate all the things that have been going on in the previous 3 months, to get a sense of where you're at right now, an orientation and a sense of where you're going as well. So we decided to share with you 20 questions. 20 questions that you can ask yourself at this time, just preceding or during a solstice or an equinox. Those changes of season, those changes of frequency, those unfoldment periods. They originally came as a way to talk to and to work with those friends of ours who spoke with us about their health issues. And more specifically, those who had cancer, who were dying, who were tremendously suffering something that could be possibly terminal. And these questions can be rather tough. It can seem to be rather brutally honest. But then, if you are looking life and death level of intensity, then it's wise to have that. So these questions are a bit oriented in that kind of way, because you always have, as Carlos Castaneda referred to in his amazing books back in the 70s, death is your advisor. You have to make your decisions in your life based on knowing that you're going to die. So when you die, everything that you hold of value will be gone, perhaps, in the physical material world. So what is it that it's important for you to experience while you're here? And hence, you ask yourself, for example, why are you still here? Number one, why are you still here? Now, most people have asked about purpose. This may have a sense of purpose to it. You're still here because there's some kind of purpose. But why are you still here? You've had achievements, you've learned, you've grown, you've changed, you've gone through all sorts of things. Why didn't you just fly the coop then? Why are you still here now? Just think about it. Number 2, what are you living for? Who are you living for? That's the why I expressed into more form. What is it that is so important that you've discovered in question 1, that now you realize that that love that you have, let's say, with your children or your mate or your group that you serve or your educational career, maybe that's what you're living for. What impact that you want to make, what experience you want to have. Number 3, and most of the people talking with us are not children or teenagers. So we think about, all right, when you're a child or a teenager, you think about the future and what you think will happen there. Question 3 is, what did you experience to be, or what did you expect, let's say that, what did you expect to be experiencing here at this time in your life, at the age that you are now. And if you can tune into what that expectation was, you can then also decide if you're experiencing it now. Are you? What does your expectation match your actual experience at this time? Are you way beyond what you could ever have imagined years ago of what it's like to be the age you are now? Just play around with that a little bit. That may give you some openings. And then question 4, what messages is your body giving you? What messages may your reality be giving you? What messages do you need to get at this time from your reality, from your life? And that could be anything as simple as, oh, I have a message that I need to slow down and relax more. Or I have a message that this is a time of great opportunity. I need to stretch and reach and create. What message might be lurking for you that you can pick up? Number 5, are you stressed out over any issue? What's happening in your body? What's happening in your life? If you're stressed over your health issue or your financial issue or whatever, what does this issue keep you from doing? This is all part of number 5. If you feel inhibited from doing something you want to do because of this stress, whether it's physical, financial, or emotional, relationship, or whatever it is, can there be a positive purpose or usefulness that can be derived from this inhibitory experience? Is it really that you need to be doing that? Or is it drawing you somewhere else? What could be a hidden positive purpose of something that seems to be rather limiting and negative as well? When the channel was small, she got sick, she found that when she was sick, her mother let her do just about anything. She could read, she could play, she could draw, she could whatever, to the extent of her physical capacity or anything. But it was, she got to nurture herself, and she got nurtured by her mother too. So that made illness actually a positive in a way, because sometimes she could get out of school by doing that too. But that's a child's version. What's your adult version? What could you see as a benefit to that? And that takes us to number 6, that if you were totally stress-free and all your limitations had been resolved, financial, emotional, physical, whatever, if somehow or another you were totally healthy and everything, but you were in the same circumstances otherwise. In other words, if you have a health issue, but you still have a financial issue. All right, so what if you don't have a health issue? What if you're perfectly healthy? What if you're like vibrantly healthy? Yes, you still may have that financial issue. If you're in the exact same situation, otherwise, other than your primary stress, what could you do differently? What could you do? What would you be doing differently? Okay, so, and number 7 is, where do you give away your personal authority, if you still do? Where do you give away your power of attention? Where do you give away your focus, your energies? Do you give them away to anyone else? Do you retain your authority of yourself? But where does your focus pull you away from you towards? For example, politics. A lot of people are just totally wrapped up in the political dramas going on. Others are wrapped up in personal dramas. Others give their power away to the government. They give their power away to lawyers. They give their power away to their partners in relationship, their business partners. They give their power away to just money itself. Where do you give it away? How do you give it away? So, who besides yourself holds authority over you? Who knows you? Does society, your social group, social media, your religious group, parents, children, friends? Who influences you? Who has the authority, in a sense, over what you do? Okay, so because if you find that you give your power away, then you come to number 8. Then you can ask, what can victimize or compromise you? Compromise your truth, compromise you in any way. Does money compromise you? You've seen this in politics. Money compromising people. What is your social validators? What can compromise you, like toxins in your environment? So where not only can you give your power away, but you can be victimized. Who can victimize you? What can victimize you? What can force you to make decisions against your own choices, your own soul choices? And how much are you worth? Would you compromise your moral standards, your integrity, your truth for $100,000? Would you do it for 500,000? A million? 2 million? A billion? What's your price? Do you have one? And how does it feel not to have one? All right. So, number 9, who do you see yourself as being right now? And we're talking about kind of your social identity. What group do you adhere to? What group? What demographic, age, race, class, financial status, illness, spiritual orientation? How spiritually evolved do you see yourself in that case right now? Number 10, what are your dreams for the future? Not just achievements, but what do you want to feel? Who do you want to be in the future? What future would you like to have in a year or two? All right, so 11, what would you have to do and be now so that you could experience this future that you want? Now, the answer to this is not found by someone from outside coming and doing it for you or giving you the money to fulfill your dream or something. This is something you seek from inside to know. It takes some thought. Okay, number 12. So, what do you worry about? What do you worry about personally? What is your concerns for the future nationally, globally? That shows what your values are outside of and beyond yourself. And number 13, what is your personal nightmare future? In other words, what is the worst that could happen? How horrible could it really be? Just what is the absolute worst? But we're not going to leave you there. But you also look at, well, what would the future be if nothing changes from right now? What would your life be like in 10 years, 20 years, if it was just the same as now? And then that beautiful future you would like to have in a couple of years, what if you extend that out and it's even more beautiful down the road, 10, 20 years? That's your dream future. What would that be? Just get clear where your paths, where the options are. We know that you're going to choose your dream, but you do need to know that sometimes you expect the nightmare. And, in manifestation, it's very important to expect something that you really want So you want to get really clear what you don't want. Okay? So 14, who do you want to become as a person? What strength do you want to have that maybe now you feel shaky on? Uh, this is your 24/7, everyday self-image that you want to look at. Okay. 15, what do you want other people to see when they see you? And one of the ways you can play around with that is imagine, what do you want to have written on your tombstone? What is it you want people to see about you? What image you want others to have of you? That's that image. And 16 is, so then who do you want to be now? Who are you willing to be now? Are you willing to be more than before? Are you willing to be that person that you wish to be? And then number 16, do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to live according to the principles of who you are and who you're becoming, the principles that guide you? Are you having the courage to stay aligned to your path of destiny consciously? Your spiritual path will ultimately get you home to God, Goddess, all that is, to the oneness and beyond. But how much courage do you have to do it consciously now of your own free will? Number 17, how do you motivate yourself to do anything? Do you motivate yourself by the slave driver? We've talked about the inner slave driver in our other seminars. Inner slave driver motivates you by fear and guilt, motivates you to fulfill duties and obligations, puts pressure on you, scares the bejesus out of you about what could happen if you don't motivate yourself. So, do you motivate yourself out of love, out of joy, out of enthusiasm? Pay attention to how you do that, how you motivate yourself. 18, what calls you? What calls you in the future? What soul call are you feeling? These questions are soul-oriented questions. Your soul is calling you. Something is calling you. Even on the mundane level, there may be some aspect of life, some creative place that's calling. Come, create. Come, explore. Come, learn more. Where's your curiosity? What do you want more of? Where are you seeking? What is calling you? What feels right? And what calls you? Number 19, are you willing? Are you willing to receive all that you want and desire? Are you willing to allow it to drop into your life? Are you willing to receive it? Are you at a level of consciousness in which what you receive could be seen as natural and normal for you? What level can you receive of what you want? And finally, number 20, what wisdom from all your learning personally and professionally and in every which way would you want to give to the world? What message, what truth, what would you like the world to receive, and what would you like to impact your world with? To help uplift the world, to help change things, to help move some positive dream or vision into the world. What message do you think you wish to give the world? compose it, like a little, make a paragraph or two, but distill it, make it really juicy. Now, as we said before, do these at the quarterly. You can do it anytime, of course, if you are growing really fast or life is changing really, really rapidly. And know that as you answer these questions, be open to divine assistance. Be open to the love and support of your team. You have a beautiful team. Your universe loves you. Your team loves you. And you're the leader of your team. They want you to succeed. You're not a follower. You're not just there saying, okay, tell me what to do. Mm-mm. You've come too far now. Find out what it is you wish to do and let your team, let your universe support you in moving forward towards that beautiful dream future. All right, so, and throughout all this, remember, all is going according to plan. That's your divine plan. And it will turn out well. Just know that. Remember that. Say that to yourself no matter what happens. It's going to be better because that's where you're going. That's your destination. Right? Now, we've written this down. We got the channel to write down these questions. So if you find it interesting and you would like to have a copy of these questions, just go to our website, GalexisSpirit.com, and go to the contact page and put in your name and email address and ask, look, I'd like the 20 questions, please. Thank you. All right, dear one. So have a wonderful solstice, or perhaps if you're listening to this and it's before an equinox as well, have a wonderful shift, a wonderful change, a wonderful opening, a wonderful celebration. All right. Farewell.